All right. Well, hi everybody. I'm Mark Brown, and I'm with Microsoft. I work on the Windows Azure team. Windows Azure is Microsoft's public cloud platform, and today I want to talk to you a little bit about that, and then tell you a little bit about some work we've been doing for the past year. One of the things I want to say is I'm really happy that we could sponsor you guys this year. We've been working with you guys for maybe 4-something years, maybe a little longer, around various things, and it's just it's great to be able to sponsor you guys. And it's not just about the technology. You guys are a really great community, and we've loved working with you guys for a number of years. So anyway, today I want to talk a little bit about Windows Azure websites, which is some work we did with you guys. And then I want to get into some demos. Oops, I got to turn on my thing. So I'll go a little bit about websites. Fair warning, some marketing content in here. I promise I will make that go as fast as humanly possible. I really want to spend some time showing you some stuff and doing demos on there. So what is Azure Websites? Basically, it's a paths for doing websites, functionally a self-service platform for developers. It's really geared towards developers who want to go and quickly create and host and manage and scale websites. It's got a lot of cool features, and I'm going to show it to you. So quickly, one of the things that's really great about Azure Websites is it's really geared towards high availability. We'll provide an SLA on your sites that are running in just a single instance. Most other cloud providers or hosting providers will want you to run multiple instances of stuff for high availability. And it's available in 6 data centers around the world as well. You could secure your sites running on on Azure Websites. We support SSL, both IP-based certificates as well as SNI in there. All of your sites are also load balanced by default, which is nice, so you don't have to go and set up your own load balancing for them in there. It's a path, so of course we do all the patching on there. It's always running the latest version of the server OS, which in this case is Windows Server 2012. We also provide the latest versions of all the frameworks, and I put a little star there because while PHP 5.5 is officially out, we haven't actually deployed that yet in there, but we have 5.3 and 5.4 variants in there available now. We should have 5.5 available, I think, in the next week or so. And if you haven't checked it out, we're actually really happy with the work. So we've, of course, been working and contributing to PHP for a long time now. And this is by far the fastest version of PHP or build of PHP on Windows that we've ever seen. And we're really excited about it. Azure Websites provides a really easy way to scale. So you can scale up sites you have in there by using larger VMs. You can also scale out with multiple instances of a site, shared instances of a site, or multiple VMs. And we also have auto scaling available in there now, and I'll show you that in a little bit. Hold on. Creating sites is pretty easy. We have a really nice portal that I'll show you in there, and then also we have really good tool support. So great CLI support, even for running on a Mac. So our CLI is built in Node.js. So you can essentially do anything, and I'll show this to you in a little bit from a Mac. It doesn't matter what OS or what, you could run Linux, you can run Mac, I don't care. You could run, it doesn't matter, your Commodore, no, not a Commodore. But with the CLI support that we've got built in Node, functionally you can build your sites using whatever tools you want on whatever OS you want. And we're Microsoft, so of course we have awesome support for things like Visual Studio, and then we have another tool called Web Matrix as well that's just for Windows, and there's really great support in there for building sites. Like I said, you can build your sites using any OS, but we have flexibility around the deployment. We have great support for Git, which I'll show you, and of course FTP, whether you're running on a Mac or Linux client. With the Git support in there, we can also support continuous delivery, so we can tie into the hooks in things like GitHub. So when you do a commit in there, we'll capture that and then automatically deploy the site. I'll show you an example of that as well. Being a PaaS, we want to provide a supportive languages, so we of course support 2 flavors of .NET, PHP 5.3 and 5.4 in there out of the box, and 5.5 coming very, very soon. Multiple flavors of Node. We have Python 2.7 in there. And then if you want, you can also roll your own in there as well. I've seen this a lot with people as well who want to deploy PHP with certain PECL extensions already installed and turned on in there. So you can also bin deploy that basically and then just change the handler within there. Lots of choices for data services. We have, of course, support SQL Server, and Cake thankfully has great support for SQL Server. We worked with the Cake community a few years ago on doing that. Support for our managed version of that, which is called Azure SQL Database. We have support for MySQL out of there through a partner called ClearDB. And then support for other options as well. We have support for Mongo within there. Azure Table Storage, which I think someone in your community actually went and built a few years ago. And then support for Lucene and Solar through a partner called LucidWorks. One of the great things about running in Azure or running in a public cloud is, that's different than, say, traditional hosting, is you have access to a ton of other services that are right there on the platform. We have managed services around identity, storage. We have Hadoop clusters up, so you can do analytics or big data stuff in there. CDN. We have a really awesome media services service available within there. Service bus is functionally our messaging and queuing technology in there. And then cloud services are functionally kind of ephemeral VMs. So if you want to build highly decoupled, message-based, very scalable systems where you can go from 1 to thousands of VMs running jobs, we have support for that sort of thing as well. We have support for virtual machines, of course, in there, and that's Windows and multiple flavors of Windows Server and SQL Server and SharePoint and stuff. But we also have support for Linux out of the box in there as well. Support for multiple flavors of Ubuntu, CentOS, OpenSUSE, and SUSE Enterprise Edition. And then we also have a community portal for community submitted images. I'll give you a quick look at that as well. So I talked a little bit about WebMatrix. I'm running a Mac, so I'm not going to demo this, but I thought some screenshots I could just show you. But the work we did this year with Cake really involved getting it into our app gallery. So if you're using a tool like WebMatrix, or if you're in our Azure portal, which I'll show you, you functionally can go and just select CakePHP within there. I'm really happy to say that you guys are the first app framework that we've gotten in there. We've been working with others like Zend and some others in there, and that's been really challenging. You guys were really awesome to work with, and I have to thank James and Larry for all the work they did on this. But you can go in there, select it from the gallery, and then just put in a site name, and that'll be your site at azurewebsites.net. We do support custom domains, I'll show you that. And then you can select a location in there, and then of course you can create a new database for it. Type in your salt and your cipher seed in there, or just select the defaults within there. And that's kind of it, right? And it'll give you, your database name, your username and password in a highly secure way right there. The editor in there is really nice, support for PHP, autocomplete, and just, color coding in there. Within there, another nice thing is there's a database editor right in there as well, so you can create new tables or views within there. And then I think the really killer feature for this tool is the ability to be able to deploy both a site and a database in one shot, so you don't have to script out your database and then pack it up and then ship it to the server and then crack it open and then do all your updates. This thing will do it for you right there. So and basically with the database, it scripts the whole thing out. It won't do a diff on production versus dev and then script the changes. It will pull the whole thing. But it does do diffs on your files, so it'll know if it needs to add them or delete them or update them, and it'll make the changes in there. And then what it does is it basically packs that all into a zip file with a manifest, ships that to the server cracks it open, reads the manifest, knows what to do, and then deploys your site or updates your site. So that's WebMatrix, kind of in a slide version. So I know you're probably thinking, Jesus Christ, stop talking about marketing stuff and get to demos, and I will in just a sec. Like I said, Cake is the first app framework on Azure websites. So it's available in the web app gallery, and like I said, it's the first one in there. There's support for MySQL out of the box, but also with some slight changes, you can also run it with Microsoft SQL Server in a VM or SQL Azure Database, which is our managed version. And you just need to make a couple of changes in your site to do that. So let's do some demos. How am I doing on time? Awesome. So here is the Azure Portal. How many of you guys used AWS today? How many of you love that portal? That's what I thought. So this is our portal for Windows Azure. So within here, you have things like websites. There's also virtual machines in here. So if I want to go and create a new VM, I can go in here and click New. I can select from the gallery. Here's a ton of VMs in here. There's Windows Server, SQL Server, BizTalk Server, OpenSUSE, multiple flavors of Ubuntu, and then CentOS in there. I can also go and check out community images. So if I want, I can go and browse this thing called VM Depot, and then I can see multiple flavors of stuff in here. So here's Solar. Django, Drupal, all kinds of stuff in here. HA Proxy, Jenkins, Joomla, LAMP, just straight up LAMP stack. So I can go and easily go and create one or more of those things in there from that. So there's other stuff in here. I won't go too deep into it. So I'm going to go and provision a new website running Cake. So I'll go and say New Website from Gallery. Oh, I know I made a poor choice for wireless AP here, didn't I? All right, this blows.
Maybe the Macintosh doesn't like it.
It worked great and
Yes, it worked.
should I try another one?
Yeah.
What's this? How about 5?
Probably have to go to some sites.
Yeah. Oh, okay. Awesome. Let's try that again. Cool. So within here, tons of other apps and stuff. But the one thing I'll point out is here's Cake. So I'll go ahead and select that. Give it a name. So this will be mjbcake1.azurewebsites.net. Please don't launch a DOS against it just yet. And there, I'll take the defaults for that. And there's a database, that's my database, MySQL. I gotta accept their little thing. And so this will now, just take a second, but it's gonna go and provision an empty site, take the Cake package, deploy it, and then fire it up. There it goes. Awesome. So I go and I click in here, and this is the first thing I see. So there's a little dashboard in here. I can get some look at the status on there. I can configure things like endpoint monitoring, make sure the site's up, make sure it's responsive. Once I set those things up, I can have it send me notifications, whether that's text me or email me. It says, hey, your site's up, or hey, your site's running slow. Configure auto scale. I'll show you that in a minute. Anyway, just some information in here. So FTP hostname if I want to do that. Logs as well. The first thing is I'm going to set this thing up to deploy from source control. So what I have in here is some options for what I want to deploy to. I'm going to deploy this thing locally. Do a private repo. Awesome. Okay, so now I have a Git repo up there on the server. This is the URL to it. I'm going to copy that, and then I'm going to clone that locally. And JB Cake 1. And give it the password. Whoops. Oh, crap, I hope that. So that'll just take a second. By the way, this is all on a Mac, by the way. I don't know if you noticed. I'm running around with this thing. So you don't need Windows to use Windows Azure. Slow. Yeah, okay, didn't like my password. Hold on, let's just do that again. Actually, while that's going, I can show you this. So just so you know, and sorry, we only have 236 up there. We'll get 24 up there as soon as possible. So what I'm doing now is that's going to go ahead and clone it locally. And then once I get it cloned locally, I'm going to install debug kit on there. So I'll go and I'll add that locally, commit it, and then what'll happen is we'll go ahead and watch this thing get deployed and then automatically updated within there. So let's see how this is going. Still waiting. There we go. Awesome. Great, so now I have a new directory in there, MJB Cake 1 with my project in it. I'm going to fake something here. I don't know how many of you have tried to do git add submodule, which is what I tried to do to add debug kit, but that's a mighty pain in the ass, so I'm just going to copy it. I went and pulled it down from GitHub yesterday. So I got a little script in here, so this is going to copy debug kit and some change files right in there. Whoops. All right. And let's see. Okay. So got him in there, and this is our initial commit, add debug kit. Awesome, git push, origin master, and my password again. Awesome, so while that's running, let's go back up here. take a look at this guy again. And now it's deploying. So we'll let that go for a sec. There it goes. So now all the changes I have in there are deployed. And if I go and refresh this, yay, I now have debug kit in there. Awesome? Cool? Okay. What have I got? Okay, awesome, about 10 minutes left. So let's go back in here. So within here, I have some other stuff I just want to show you. So there's a way you can monitor, whoops, stuff in here, and if I want, I could add metrics within here, so I can monitor things like 404 errors or client errors or redirects. Within the configure tab here, I can go ahead, and this is deployed with 5.3. I can change that to 5.4. And that'll take a sec. Now, boom, I'm running. Now it's running on PHP 5.4. Whoops. If I want, I can add SSL certificates in here. Also do a custom domain name. I can turn on application logging and then set the level for that. Web server logging, failed request tracing. Monitoring. I can also add custom connection strings in here, or custom environment variables as well within here. Default documents, and then handler mappings within here. So next, let's show you, sure. So right now, this is running in just the free version. So when you sign up for Windows Azure, we'll give you like 10 free websites. That's really just good for testing or maybe doing some quick stuff. We don't give you a whole lot of compute cycles around that. You can go to a shared mode. And going to shared is cool because now, once you go into shared, let's let that save. I can now scale this out. So right now, this is running just a single extra small shared instance within there. This is basically running a process right now. But if I want, I can scale that out and say I want to run 6. So now the site's basically running on 6 instances. So I basically have 6 front ends of this thing, all load balanced across there. If I want, I can scale it out to its own VMs. So that's the standard mode. So what I'll do is I'll select this site and then say I want to scale this out to medium-sized VM, and we'll say save. Boom, now I'm running on a VM. So the site's been packaged, redeployed, and then turned on. So now I'm running on a single medium-sized VM. Oh, no, it's still scaling it. Okay, now I'm running. No, I'm not running. Let's try that again. Yes. Couldn't do it. Let's just try that again. There we go. Now I'm running in my own VM on there. And if I want, I can scale that out. So let's just say I'm going to go to 2 instances. Feel free to launch your DDoS attack to me right now if you want. Now you can. Cool. Now I'm running on 2 VMs. And now the thing I love here is I can now auto-scale this thing. So just by select CPU in here, those are my instance sizes. I can set how many I want to run from minimum to max in here. And then also set the target CPU level. So if I want to put it down to there, fine. Or let's just say it gets up to 60. So somewhere within this range, Azure here, the portal will start adding more and more VMs. And then when that goes down again, it'll of course start deprovisioning them then, taking it all the way down to a single VM. So autoscale I think is pretty awesome. The nice thing about it is that it's a really great way to kind of make sure you're only paying for what you're using, right? So different than, say, traditional hosting, where you've got to go and call them up or email them and say, shit, I'm getting hammered, please go provision me another VM, and they're like, I'll get back to you in a day or two. You're doing it right here, right then, and in fact, you don't have to do anything at all. And if you and you can also set monitoring on here, so if you want to know if this is happening, and somebody is slash-dotting your site because you said something inflammatory on Twitter, then you'll know when it's happening. You can, you can watch it. Whoa. Uh-oh. There we go. Cool. All right. What else do I want to show you? I know what I'll show you. So, as I said, everything in here is basically scriptable from command line. So if I want, I can actually go and script out to go create a new site and do it straight from the command line. So that's what I'll do right here. And let me show you. So this is our CLI tool. So if I just type Azure, it's got some pretty ASCII art at the top there. And then you've got all kinds of commands to go and manage stuff like sites, mobile services, and VMs in there as well. So I just pasted cut a script. This is going to go and create a new site for me called Say Hello. It's going to set up a repo out of GitHub, or it's going to attach to GitHub. I'm going to pass in my username, pass in the repo, and then tell it where I want it to deploy. So Azure is now going to go enumerate the sites within there and locations, make sure I can go and create a new site, and then great, now it's creating a new empty site called Say Hello. It's going to ask me for my GitHub password. Retrieving the repositories out of GitHub and looking up the one I passed in. Cool, all done. So, Azure site, browse, say hello. This is my favorite thing. I can launch a browser from the command line. Is that awesome or what? So here's my little site. It's just a stupid, simple little PHP page. So I'm going to say hello world. Hi everybody. And here's the repo in here. So I'll do something. Oh, here, let me show you this. So where's my site? Nah, that's a different one. Was it in there? There it is. Okay, so there's my little site right there. And you can see, go into deployments here. Yep, and that's it, deployed from GitHub. So that's my active deployment, my little index PHP. So I'll go in here and show you CI with, oops. And we'll just say hello. CakeFest. Blah, blah. Commit it. Go back in here. Boom. Deploying. Boom. Now that's my active deployment. So I can go back in here. Whoops. Wrong one. There it is. And then there you go. Right? Or let's just say I do something really dumb. What have I got? A couple minutes left. Let's just say you hire me on your project, and I go into your source code, and I say, hello, go fork yourself. Hired Mark as a dev. And I commit that. Yeah, that deploy? Oh, there it is. Nope. There we are. So then we go back to the site, and somebody types in, and boss says, that guy Mark sucks. We should fire him. And you could say, no, it's okay, dude. Here, let's just do this. And we'll just roll it right back. So now, oops. There, back to normal again. And Mark's unemployed. So, cool. So that's it for me. Want to thank you guys. If you have some questions, I'll be around for a little bit. I got to hop on a plane and get back to Seattle. I also have some cool Windows Azure stickers I stuck out on the table with all the awesome little banners for your thing there. They're cool little cut stickers. So if you don't want one, you can grab one and put it on your friend's laptop because they're a huge pain in the ass to take off. So, so that's it. Thanks, everyone.